Today, we are going to talk about 3 top major mistakes buyers make when moving to Homer and buying a home. Mistake number 1, not understanding water and septic systems here in Homer.
Yeah.
Can you go in on that?
Yes. Yeah. It's going to look a lot different probably than especially if you're coming from the lower 48, but we have a very small portion of Homer is actually on city sewer and city water. And out from there, everyone is either going to be on a cistern, which means it's going to be hauled water and stored at your property. It's city water that is hauled, and that's 8 cents a gallon, or on a well. And depending on what area you're in Homer, wells can also have their own issues and can be expensive to maintain. So, but making a deal breaker that you want to be on city sewer, city water is really going to limit you on where you're going to be. I mean, you're just in Homer proper. That's it.
Yeah.
And not
right
even
town,
Homer
on
proper.
a 0.34 acre lot, which is great if that's where you want to be. But just understanding that city sewer and water is just a very, very small service area. And very often, I would say 9 out of 10 buyers who are relocating from out of state, when we're asking them, what are you looking for in a home? As we narrow down the search, 9 out of 10 say, I do not want to be on hauled water. I do not want a cistern. I want at least a well or a city water. And that's just really difficult here. And it's hard too, because, when you're coming from more modern utilities, hearing the word hauled water and water storage can be extremely daunting.
Yes. Yeah.
And that, it just seems very out of this world, when in reality, it's one of Homer's most common sources of water. It's really seamless. You have a tank in your home. The water company comes on a rotation, on a schedule. You don't even realize. You feel like you're on city water. You're drinking city water. They're coming to fill it up, and they send you your bill electronically.
Yeah. It's seamless.
It's very seamless.
Yes. Yeah. Coming from Oregon, that was one of the things that scared me the most. And moving here, my husband had always lived on hauled water. That was not an unknown thing for him. No big deal. I take a lot of baths. And I also wasn't used to not having just an unlimited source of water. And so conserving water, if you have used a lot for, even if it's gardening or whatever, you used an abnormal amount for a week, that made me nervous. The first home that we bought here in Homer had 2 1,100 gallon cisterns in our crawl space. And I was terrified. I was so paranoid. Are we going to run out of water? It's just my husband and I and our dog. And we never even came close to running out of water. The truck comes every 2 weeks on average. With the 2 of us, we use about 500 gallons of water a week, and it's 8 cents a gallon here. I never even thought about it. We put our card on file. The guys showed up on schedule every other week, filled it up. I took as many baths as I wanted, and it was no big deal at all. But as we were looking for our first home here, that was something to consider. I didn't want to be on city utilities because I didn't want to be in town, but I would prefer a well. I used to manage Airbnbs as well when I first moved here, and there were a few properties that had wells. That is also a task, especially if you have a softener in there and you're filling salt, and then your filters and everything. That all also adds up. So I just think it could be where you're coming from and what you're used to, but as far as hauled water, it's zero thought. It's so easy,
seamless process that is not, in my opinion, it's not worth limiting the homes that you want, that you would consider for that aspect, with it being so common here. And if you use a ton of water, the water guys will come once a week. They'll set up the rotation for your usage. And again, like Becky said, so seamless. You don't even think about it. There's no maintenance.
At one of your other homes, you did end up adding a filtration system after you had kids, just because it's city water, so it is chlorinated. You can smell that a little bit, and so I remember you added that. So that's always an option too, if you're just wanting an in-house,
which is a great reminder. We need to put one on our new house. It's just a full house water treatment system that the local plumbing company just comes out and installs, and it gets rid of that chlorine that's in the water. But you're drinking, it's city water that's being delivered, and it's about, what, 2 or 3 cents more than
if you were in town
for that delivery cost. But the city of Homer, they bill you, they monitor your water usage, so you pay per the gallon just like you do if you're on a cistern. It's not a set cost every month and you get unlimited water. Regardless, you're paying per the gallon.
Yeah. I think the last time I looked on the city website, it was $4.40 for 100 gallons, but that was for water and also sewer. So they're monitoring both.
Yeah.
And they were saying on average that one person uses 100 gallons a day. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that. Unless you're just running the tap all the time, which you should be doing anyways.
Yeah.
So
you definitely have to like think about conserving your water, especially when you first start getting used to it. But it's not, you don't have to be overly cautious.
No.
It's just being mindful of how much water you're using. This last summer, we had families stay with us. I think we had 8 or 9 family members in our house, and we used more water than we normally would, but the cistern never ran dry. We didn't even check it. It was like,
but you can, like you said, always call and have the truck come again. It's not a big deal. They don't charge you extra. If it's like a once a week thing, they don't charge you extra.
Yeah.
If you're calling for an emergency because you
didn't have it set up on auto.
Yeah. Didn't have it set up on auto and you actually did run out, then they do charge a service fee. But I will say the water companies here are just really easy to work with. They're used to it, and they're used to people running out of water, and they get it, and they will try to get here as fast as possible. That also goes along with oil for stove heat, and we can get into that later, but they're used to it. So,
and they drive obviously a massive truck, but they have chains. They chain up, and they will get places that you would never expect them to get to. I mean, they will go up the steepest of hills and the steepest of downhills. So you never really have to worry when you're looking at homes, like, is the utility truck going to make it? They're going to make it. They always do.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's huge. Considering cisterns when you're thinking about your home purchase in Homer.
Leaving your options open. If you're just not buying it because you're nervous of that, it is not one of the things to be nervous about.
Yes.
There's other things to be nervous about.
All right. Mistake number 2, expecting large acreage in Homer.
Homer is geographically small.
Yeah.
And also everyone wants to be in Homer. And so if you are looking for large acreage, even anything over a half an acre in town is almost unheard of at this point. It's very unheard of. Yeah. So we do get clients a lot that, you want 10 acres or 20 acres. Those are hard to find, and they're just going to push you farther and farther out of Homer, which 20 minutes in Alaska or far in Alaska is very different than far in other areas.
20 minutes in a city.
Yes, you're then getting into roads that are not maintained, and you might be the only one driving it. So that just brings a whole other set of questions and logistics of.
I think people think Homer, Alaska, the last frontier, wide open, Alaska, low population, low density. But again, like Becky said, Homer geographically is a very small area. So we just don't have a lot of parcels here that are 5, 10, 15, 20 acres. It's just not realistic. And I feel a lot of people, when they're starting their search here, that's the number one thing that they think of, is they want this wide open space and they don't want to see their neighbors, and it's just not realistic for Homer. So just keeping that in mind, that our acreage, our parcels are a lot smaller than what most people think.
And if you're seeing a property marketed that is, a really small price point for a lot of acreage, there is going to be a reason for that. It could even be that there's no access at the moment, and that you are going to be snowshoeing it out to that property.
Remote, or no electricity, things like that.
Yeah, or very, very wet. A lot of, unusable property. So, and then like you were saying, getting utilities, it's electricity. We were just working on a property where it costs more to get the utilities than the actual lot cost. So those are all just things to think about when you're looking at those really big lots. And I guess why are you wanting that much acreage? You know, are you someone that you want to be able to go out hiking whenever you want? Well, there is a ton of public land here.
Yeah.
You can go snow machining, you can get on public trails, and you might not see anyone. There's a ton of public use property around here, so you can still get that without having to own this giant acreage. So I guess figuring out why do you need to know to own that? And it's also possible to get a smaller acreage and still not see any of your neighbors.
Yes. Yeah.
So you don't need 10 acres to not see anyone.
Yeah. But we're just debunking that great thought of having all this
elbow
acreage.
room.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it's just not feasible here in Homer with the space that we have. All right. Mistake number 3, not knowing your true deal breakers.
People often come in, well, one, cisterns and septics, that is really, really going to limit things. And in a previous video, we did a market update for right now. We only have about 60 homes on the market. And if you're here looking in the 500,000 price range, I might only be sending you 8 of that 60 homes that you actually want to look at. And out of those, you may only really like 2 of them. So we don't want to limit that by, cisterns and septics, because we've got to kind of spread out. The city utilities is just so limited here. So to me, a deal breaker in Homer is, if you're moving to Homer, you probably want a view. That is often a really big selling point for people. If that's your deal breaker, just know that you're going to be in that upper price range, and that's okay, as long as we're all on the same page of that's what it takes to get a view in Homer. With those expectations. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Proximity to town. That's a huge one as well. Access, is it a borough maintained road? Is it a city maintained road? Is there no maintenance? Is it a neighbor that's maintaining the road? I think that's another big knowing your deal breakers with that.
Right.
And that's a whole nother video we'll get into, is road maintenance. As in Homer, there's a lot of neighborhood maintained roads, but
yes,
we'll expand on that more. But to sum up what Becky was saying is our inventory is so limited. And so to come here with having a laundry list of your absolute deal breakers, it's just going to be
limiting,
very limiting. And you're probably going to have to get rid of some of those deal breakers in order to find a property.
So what on your checklist can we be a little bit flexible on?
Yeah.
And what is an absolute deal breaker that you need to have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to take your list and we're going to slash it.
Yeah.
Make it smaller.
And then find you the right house.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Awesome. Well, yeah, those are our 3 biggest mistakes. Not really mistakes. It's just being educated.
Things to think about when looking in Homer.
Yeah. So again, as always, let us know what questions you want to see answered, and we will happily make a video. You can call, text, reach out on Instagram, Facebook. We're happy to connect with you guys.